Good late morning, early afternoon, something like that. Um, Sorry I'm not wearing my dentures. I got a little bit of I don't know what to call it, a boo-boo on my gums. Um, so it hurts when I try to put them in this morning. Was not happy about that. As some of you know from last night's live video, if you rewatch it, whatnot, one, we were having technical difficulties. And two, yes, Jerry finally got her MRI and found out she's got a unknown type of bone, or not bone cyst, but an unknown type of tumor on, basically that's caused the femur to fracture, which I was kind of like, whoa, I did not know a tumor could do that. She has to call her doctor Monday to get an appointment to have it biopsied so they can see if it's non-cancerous or cancerous, or what they have to do to deal with the situation. Good thing is we know what it is now, and we just have to see what the doctors can do with an examination on how to deal with it. I'm hoping it's non-cancerous and they can just, I don't know how they would deal with it. Surgically remove it. Zap it with, I don't want to say chemo, but with the new technology, they've got new devices and whatnot that they can use. Or I think I've heard that they can use, that they can basically put the device over the bones, over the cyst or tumor, I should say, and just bombard it with, I don't know if they use sound waves or if they use what kind of whatever it is that the device sends out to shrink, if not eradicate the tumor. And once they can figure out how to deal with the tumor and whatnot, they can deal with the fracture. I don't have a lot of knowledge in medical science and whatnot. I just hear a lot of tech stuff about new devices and new technology and new medicines and stuff like that. Like I said, hopefully they can they can do a biopsy to see if it's what kind of problems it could cause. And if it's non-cancerous, they can figure out how soon they can remove it, so they can put a cast on her leg to deal with the fracture. But I did see she got really quick results on her Mercy portal from the he was not a technician, he was an actual doctor. Who basically said, I'm basically repeating what I read, that it's a tumor of unknown, now I don't remember if they said unknown origin or unknown type. All I know is Monday she's got to call our local doctor, set up an appointment as soon as possible to have it biopsied, and then they can move on from there. So I'm happy. We have a little bit more knowledge. The doctor also said, he didn't say bed rest, that was me. So I'm correcting myself now that I've read the information and whatnot. The doctor didn't say bed rest. He basically said, do not put any undue pressure on that leg. So she's trying to do whatever she can to sit for as long as possible without feeling discomfort. She told me this morning that she sat for nearly 35 minutes to do her vlog, which is great. We had talked about possibly getting her out of the bed and walking her into the living room so she can sit in the recliner, but she's not sure she wants to do that due to distance from living room to bathroom. But she said that she wants to try to at least get to the kitchen table, which is just down the hall from our bedroom, and make it as comfortable as possible for her to sit there for a short period of time. So we're thinking, or I'm thinking, I should say, that it would be great that if she can just come out to the kitchen, sit at the kitchen table, and enjoy a meal with us, or maybe even help me get the slow cooker started, or not slow cooker, Instant Pot started, so I can make dinners at the table, or she can sit there and help me make dinners, and it won't take as long as the length of the time is mostly prep, because with the Instant Pot it's like 20-30 minutes at the most it's ever taken to make a meal. There's certain recipes I would like to be able to cook that's basically from the Instant Pot that Jerry knows, up here by heart. I don't even remember where she got it. If she got it from her sister or from one of her... We have two different books for the Instant Pot. One of them is diabetic and the other one is keto. So it's kind of like one of those, maybe I should experiment and see if I can do it. That would be something I would do like tonight or tomorrow, because I don't want to do it on a weekday and mess up the whole thing. And, by the time we're done eating, it's about the time I need to be going to bed. I'm sorry. But, everything is looking very good news on Jerry's health issues. The other thing I wanted to talk about this morning, besides, well, I'll talk about that here in a second. During our live session last night, Diane, I think is her first name, Burkhart, I think is how you pronounce her last name, I'm not sure. It's kind of funny because if it is Burkhart, Burkhart was the name of a TV series character name. The TV series was The Grimm, one of my favorite shows. I every so often feel nostalgic and watch that series off of Hulu or YouTube, or not YouTube, Hulu or Netflix. But I want to extend a apology to her for Jerry's decision of deleting the comment, even though I found no harm, no foul in the comment. In fact, I kind of felt the comment was wholeheartedly, genuinely caring and concerned. But Jerry didn't even let me read her the comment. She just heard the name and said block or delete or whatever, and I just kind of went, okay. I was actually purposely trying not to delete it. I was actually trying to make it look like I deleted it, but our second moderator decided to go ahead and delete it because I didn't think there was anything wrong with Diane's comment. I did find out that Diane did put a live video out later on that evening. It looked like she tried to put 3 different videos in the same day out, live videos, but I guess she was having just as much technical difficulty as we were here. So that makes me go, okay, yeah, something was going on with YouTube last night. Don't know exactly what, but I did catch the bits and pieces of each video, mostly because I was trying to do a thousand different things at once and wanted to hear what she had to say. And I did not really find any of it, except for maybe 1 or 2 comments from the comment section, to be harsh, or somewhat disturbing. But I go and watch some of Diana's videos just because I'm a combination of curious, and I realize that, oh my god, I can't stop yawning today. I've been having problems all morning. I find some of Diane's information or videos to be somewhat helpful, somewhat kind of like I wish I can get Diane some better information, because I wholeheartedly think that she's trying to do more good than harm. A lot of people have tried to do more good than harm, but sometimes, like I said before in one of my videos, sometimes when there's a lot of different information bombarding me at once, okay, that's my air conditioner. It confuses me. So I have to learn how to pick and choose what I'm going to listen to during a particular time, or video, or comments. That does not mean I'm like ignoring the others that are putting forth information or putting forth suggestions. It's just sometimes some of the suggestions are a little harsh, or some of those suggestions just don't align with how I feel. And it doesn't mean that that particular person in that particular comment is not wrong. It's just the factor. I'm trying to follow my heart, and I'm trying to do what's best for me and my family. And I do appreciate all the well wishes, and I do appreciate all the advice. But like I said, sometimes I have to just go, well, let's back up a moment and just clear my head and refocus on, trying to understand. Ooh, that almost went down the wrong side. Being today is 9/11, I know there's a lot of people dealing with 9/11 issues, especially those who have lost loved ones, family members, close friends. Just the Jerry was watching a video of I don't know if it was live this year or live like a recorded video or whatnot, but she was watching something about 9/11 on her tablet this morning from ABC, and I came in there to just lie down and try to recuperate, because I'm not feeling all that great today. I'm feeling quite, I guess the best word to say would be melancholy. I feel down and out, and no energy, no direction, no gumption to do anything. I came in here this morning and I sat here and I tried to do a video this morning, but it was just like, okay, Jim, you're not really coherent enough to do a video. You're repeating stuff. But I came in here to do that video, and I wasn't fully awake at 7 o'clock this morning, and I know why. The main reason why is because I couldn't get to sleep until after 10:30, and my alarm woke me up at, Jerry had forgotten to turn off the 5 a.m. alarm to remind her to start her medication. She wanted it for 6. I had my alarm set for 6:30 this morning, so I can get a little extra sleep, even though I didn't fall asleep in my normal time. My brain was like, hey, it's the weekend, you can sleep in, you can do this, you can do that, you don't have to worry about work. Yeah, if I don't try to keep this schedule, my rhythm gets messed up. The good thing I did notice, though, by going to bed that late is I slept pretty good. I didn't wake up tossing and turning 500 times between 2 a.m. and 5. But I just feel like, let's say here, Thursday and Friday I wasn't feeling that great. I was having issues with headaches and coughing, and I didn't know if that was migraines or what. I'm hoping it was just migraines, but if by tomorrow evening, before I crash, basically, if I still feel like something's wrong between the weird spots, that I'm having headaches, or head pain with some nasal issues, I don't know if I'm going to, and I don't want to, call out of work and get a doctor's appointment ASAP so I can have my have my head examined. It sounds funny. Have my head examined. Have a talk with my doctor and see what she says. If it is migraines, maybe she can give me something for it. If it isn't, she might suggest a few things. I don't know. But I have not had this kind of feeling or issue in a long time, and I am so sorry. I am like yawning like crazy this morning. Like I said, I don't know if that's lack of sleep or oversleep or what. But I'm trying to do what I can do or what I need to do before tomorrow because, well, I only have X number of uniform shirts and aprons and work pants, so I have to have them washed. Otherwise, it's just no. It won't look good if I go into work with a messy shirt and a messy apron because I decided not to do laundry this weekend. No, I have to do laundry. There are certain things that you have to do just to make it through your week. Jenny Ann did suggest, because of all the issues of what today is, to just either take a break for the day or do half today and half tomorrow, or whatever I feel like doing, which is kind of like, okay, that's good advice. But when you sometimes look around your room or the areas that you want to be in, it causes me some headaches or disturbances. So it's like, I want to get some stuff done in my office because I'm just tired of the way it looks. I had to move. I have a box over here that you can barely see, the blue Walmart box. It's got stuff in that box that I chose to keep because I don't know if I'm gonna use it for decoration or not, and if I don't, well, yeah, it's either gonna find a new location in her craft room, or it's gonna be outside, which she doesn't want our cardboard boxes outside because her biggest paranoia, roaches. I haven't seen a roach in this house or around this house in a couple of years because every season, spring and fall, we have our pest control guy come in and spray the chemicals around the house and inside the house and outside the house just to keep those problems down to a minimum. And the only problem we've had, because I guess those chemicals don't work or whatnot, is we've had a couple of gnats that have made their way in the house somehow. And I've been trying to keep the house as clean as possible to keep those little buggers at bay, but the only thing I can think of, and it really kind of makes me feel weird, is I have seen one or two gnats crawl in and out of the kitchen sink, and I'm like, okay, do I need to pour some sort of chemical or something down in there to get rid of them, or what? Because yeah, that's just something I don't want to deal with. Um, but I haven't had anything but gnats. So, of course, this morning we had both me and Jerry had heard noises up in the attic space, and when I listened for him, I was like, okay, we've either got a squirrel or a raccoon running around up there. I don't know how he got up there, but I'll have to find out and fix it. And Jerry was like, well, it sounded really like a really heavy, like almost like a person. And it sounded like at one point in time either sawing or some sort of weird noise because of the pitter pattering of what I heard sound like the pitter pattering of a squirrel or raccoon. But she says what she heard over her side of the house was sounded like either heavy scraping or sawing. And I just kind of went, okay. And then she could have swore that she heard what sounded like stuff coming down the inside of the wall, like things were breaking apart and falling down in between the walls. And I was just like, yeah, okay, that's the last thing I need to do is climb up in my attic for the stuff that's in there to get it out and come face to face like with a raccoon. For the most part, squirrels, they'll hear me climbing up there and run away. Raccoons are very inquisitive and they might try to research what this, where the sound is coming from. So, yeah, great. Last thing I need is a raccoon in my attic. It's one thing when, like the first 2 years when we moved here, it was, and I saw the evidence and knew exactly what it was, a mouse. But this sound I'm hearing that I was hearing earlier this morning was not a mouse. That was too big for a mouse because most of the time you don't hear them little guys. You hear the squirrels and the raccoons, and I'm just like, yeah, I don't need them up there because if they decide to munch on a wire or something like that while the power is off, that could be, quite dangerous. So either I gotta call my pest control guy and see if he wants to go up there and investigate. Um, maybe the animal's not up there no more, but he can find where they might be making a nest and try to destroy the nest and hopefully get rid of the critter, or find how they're getting into the house and making sure they're not in the house so he can maybe close it up somehow. I don't know. I went outside. I couldn't see any evidence of openings big enough for a raccoon, let alone big enough for a squirrel, let alone a raccoon, unless they found, and I have to look on mom's side of the house and at the roof and whatnot, a vent that they can squeeze through or have done something to get in through the vent. So, yeah, don't know. I have to worry about that. But today, because it's 9/11, that kind of hangs over my head. Just a tragedy that I don't think will ever. It's an event that I don't think will ever lose its feelings of sorrow and anger and shock, basically. It's one of those historical, pieces that has happened to America that will be in the history books for all time, basically. It may fade. The new generations who are just being born and whatnot will only know the stories. Won't have the live events as it is on TV, or for those who are living and born in New York, they'll only have the monuments and the stories and whatnot, not the being alive as it transpired. Um, but also the factor that and this is more on Jerry than me, because I've dealt with enough family members dying and whatnot close by that it doesn't affect me as strongly as it does her. But she's still dealing with it's not as bad as when it happened, but she's still dealing with the death of her younger brother. Sorry, I'm listening to my washer dryer make noise and hoping I don't hear any kind of noise that sounds like I have to jump up and put it back in order. But it's something that unfortunately happens. I mean, we all lose family members and whatnot, and I know a lot of people like, it's been a year, get over it. It took me nearly 3 years to get over the whole situation when I was younger. But she's in her 50s. I'm about ready to hit 50 in a little over a month. It's just certain things that everybody has to deal with in at one point in time in their life. And you either learn how to deal with it and shrug it off, or you let it tear you up for extended periods of time. So I'm just trying to be supportive of her, but at the same time, it does affect me to an extent of feeling like just melancholy and not knowing what to do or what direction to go in for the day. So it is what it is, and I'm trying my best to deal with it. So, but I do thank everybody for their well wishes and prayers for Jerry Ann and the MRI, and now finding out what's going on with this tumor. I've heard all you guys talk about, because of her diabetes and whatnot, that there is a potential chance of that tumor has something to do with her diabetes, and that they might have to, God forbid, remove the leg from above the knee. And that right there just kind of haunts me, because when my father was in the hospital because of his diabetic issue, and they had basically amputated one leg due to, blood clots and whatnot that were just, according to the doctors, just, sausage linked type blood clots. They were just the clots were just so thick and whatnot that it was just, surprising. And they had talked about amputating the other leg because of the same issue. It all started basically in his lower legs and was making its way upward. And the night before they were going to amputate the other leg, he basically got clots in his lungs, and that's what took his life, basically. It's scary to think that could happen to Jerry. That's one of the reasons why, even though that this whole time that she was laid up in bed, we tried to keep her from being stagnant. I try to help her out with getting up out of bed so she can stretch and move around and try to do whatever she could to keep from getting blood clots, basically. And so far, according to the doctors and whatnot, she doesn't have any of that issue. It's just the fractured femur, the tumor, the lack of cartilage in her hip and knee, which is causing bone-on-bone rubbing, especially the hip area. There's just a lot of little health issues that we have to deal with one at a time in order to take care of the big picture. Um, the first thing they're going to worry about is that tumor, because they have to check it and make sure it doesn't become cancerous or is cancerous. Um, they're going to take care of that and watch all her vitals and making sure that everything is the rest of her body is functioning as normal as possible. Um, that's my biggest concern is keeping her from getting clots. That's all. Clots and cancer. Those are my two biggest concerns with her because of her diabetes, her being a plus size person. 323 pounds. That's less than what her brother used to weigh. I don't know what he weighs now, but he used to brag about it all the time, and I was just kind of like, why are you bragging about, okay, you're bragging because you lost a little bit of weight, but you're still over 500 pounds. That was her older brother. Most of her family members, except for one, well, the one in Vegas, she was more petite than plus size. Her one sister, Alicia, I would not have considered plus size. I would have considered her, what's the proper term? Chubby. Her other sister, Janie, who has lost a ton of weight, she was plus size. Just tipping the scale. Her older brother, morbidly obese. I'm so thankful he started losing, doing whatever he could to lose weight because of his health. The younger brother, Robert, was also tipping the scales on being, plus size or overweight. Jerry was kind of in the middle. And from what I understand of her health and whatnot, and her lifelong issue was that she was born a chubby baby. She's been, chubby, if not overweight, all her life. She gets to a plateau when she tries to lose weight, and once that plateau hits, everything goes back in reverse, and doesn't matter what she's doing to, how healthy she's been trying to eat or whatnot. She'll end up gaining some weight back because that's just how her body works. I could have been a chubby child. My bone structure is small to medium, but because of when I was a kid, I ate like there was tomorrow. But the thing was, for me, that kept me from being overweight was, between the hyperactivity and the ADHD, the doctor suspected a hyperthyroid issue because I'd eat some more, but then I would go and run circles around the house, or just get really active, and boom, I was burning off the cholesterol and not the cholesterol, but the calories and whatnot. Now, yeah, I have genetically high cholesterol because it runs in my family, and I've been trying to take cholesterol medicine for the last close to 20 years. Once I got a good doctor in New York, and they were like, "Oh, yeah, what was it? Jerry and I got married, and before we decided to go for a secondary honeymoon in Vegas to visit her sister and whatnot, and family out there in Vegas, I went and got blood drawn and tested and whatnot, and they called in a panic to my cell phone, or not my cell phone, my sister-in-law's phone in Vegas, leaving me a message, and the message just basically said, "Mr. Henson, because of your cholesterol level, if you start having any kinds of abdominal pain or unexplained abdominal issues, please go to the emergency room. And I just kind of went, what? And of course, by the time I got that message, it was too late. So the next morning, I had to call them back and said, "Excuse me, why did you leave this message?" And they were like, "Well, your cholesterol level is in the 3,000 range." And I just kind of went, "Okay, can you put that in layman's terms?" And basically, the person over the phone said, "The average human being should not have a cholesterol level above 200, especially with your age and weight." And I just kind of went, "Oh, okay. So what do I need to do?" And they said, if you are having any extreme abdominal pains or anything like that, go to the emergency room. Once you get back to New York, please come to our office. We want to sit down and talk to you and start prescribing medication to help you lower your cholesterol. Well, I will say this much. It has helped lower my cholesterol, but not to the point where it's going to be anywhere near 200, let alone 1,500. My cholesterol level does not want to drop below 2,000. So I have been trying to do a low cholesterol diet. That's one of the reasons for the Nordic foods, because it's lower in cholesterol, or lower in the items that basically are dangerous for me. And then, of course, after the doctor, asked me a bunch of questions about my family and examined my family history and whatnot, and went, okay, so what I've got here from your information, since I can't talk to your parents, since they, your father's passed away because of diabetes and your mom lives in a different state, we're going to say that you have genetically high cholesterol, that all we can do is keep on giving you medications to help you with your cholesterol and your problems. And I went, okay, because I didn't know, I've never felt any issues that would say run to the emergency room. Yeah, I felt abdominal issues, but most of that I'm not even going to talk about, because it's just not something I'm going to talk about. Like, unfortunately, I wish Jerry wouldn't, but she wants to talk about her bowels and all that fun stuff. I think that's a little too personal to put on YouTube, but that's just me. But yeah, a lot of times when I start having abdominal issues, I go to the restroom and I'm good. That's all I'm gonna say about it. I have noticed though that certain foods, like dairy, if I have too much dairy products, it causes me some issues. But for the most part, I haven't felt anything like, oh my god, I can't get rid of this pain. It's not going away. Pepto's not helping, and going to the bathroom is not helping. And I guess I should, go talk to a doctor and see what they say. Now, a lot of doctors right now that don't work with, like Mercy. Most of the doctors at Mercy don't want you to go to the ER because of the COVID situation. The ERs are either overran with people with severe problems, like emergency problems and that kind of thing. And that's one of the reasons why all the doctors, her ortho doctor here in Rolla, the ortho doctor up in Springfield, our mainstream doctor, has basically all said, if you can avoid going to the ER, avoid the ER due to, overload. And we were like, okay, but this is something that needs to be taken care of ASAP. The part of me that wants to go ballistic because of the situation literally wants to go yell at the doctor saying, hey, look, 7 weeks, 7+ weeks of trying to get this woman into an MRI to find out what the heck's going on. If this is anything but benign, non-cancerous, I feel like I want to have a shit fit. I want to start yelling at the doctors and start yelling at the people who are supposed to be the caretakers and whatnot at the MRI locations. Now, I can understand my wife's got issues and she's plus size, and not having her knee supported in certain situations, it it bugs the crud out of me. But from what Jerry says, the people in Springfield were like uber caring and uber attentive and uber helpful. She wanted to use her walker to get around, but one of the nurses followed behind her with a what do they call it, a bariatrics wheelchair, plus size wheelchair. She was going along, and this male nurse was just falling right behind her with the wheelchair, ready for her to be tired out and needing to be pushed. And she made it, what did she say, she made it about halfway through before you have a long road trip, you want to go to the bathroom, and just the whole going to the bathroom tired her out. So when she got out of the bathroom, she's like, yeah, I'll take that chair now. And then when they got her in the MRI, they wanted her knee as close to the table as possible. And she explained to them that I can't really do that because it causes pressure and pain, and I won't be able to do the MRI. So what they did was they put a small foam cushion under the femur area, and then they put another cushion or pillow under her calf muscle to create like a bridge system, so it would support her knee and not cause her too much pain. And I was just like, wow. And they didn't try to do that here in Rolla, which goes to say, okay, the Mercy Hospital, clinic, whatever, in Springfield has more attentive, caring people than the Mercy here in small town Rolla. I don't know. That's just me trying to figure out why, why on the first attempt we couldn't have done exactly what they did up in Springfield. I don't know. But, everything's done with the MRI. We know what's going on. We just need the tumor to be biopsied so they can tell what they have to do or what kind of problems it could cause, besides the fracturing of a femur, which is like, was it a combination of the tumor and then the bone-on-bone rubbing? Oh. The other thing that just made me think about this, and I hope that's not what happened, was upon our first visit to the doctor here in Rolla, they injected her with some sort of two different types of fluid. One was milky and the other one was almost clear. And I thought it was a combination of like maybe a localized cortisone shot with some sort of gelatinous material to help create the tumor. Or not create the tumor, excuse me. Create the cushioning for bone on bone. Maybe that stuff that they injected her over 7 weeks ago might have looked like a tumor, or might have caused problems, or even caused tumor type growth. But the thing is, from what I understand from what little I do know of medicine, is tumors have two ways of forming. Naturally, because there's certain kinds of chemicals within the person's body in the area that the tumor grew was caused by the chemicals within the human body. And sometimes, I read once, and maybe I'm wrong, that tumors can actually be caused by improper diagnosis or improper medical care, which is kind of like, I don't know. I'm not a doctor, so I'm just guessing. But I'm hoping that Monday, when Jerry gets up, or when the office is open, because she'll probably get up with me. But when the office is open for her doctor, that she'll call immediately and be the first person that they talk to, and hopefully get her into an appointment either later on that afternoon, like after I'm off work, so I can drive her, or sometime the next day, because Jerry has started basically making any appointments that she makes for here in Rolla, she tries to make for after 2:30, 3 o'clock. Except for that one, which is at 1 o'clock, because that was the only time that they could flip her in. And our friend, one of our local friends, took her, so I wouldn't have to ask to be off work early. Which my coworker and supervisor said that that's not really a problem, because our venue is not that difficult to do sometimes. Sometimes it is, depending on the day of the week. So it's like, I might suggest to Jerry that if she can get an appointment for Tuesday afternoon, and if it's as early as if the appointment is at 2:30 or 2:40, I might be able to get out of work a little earlier, like 2:15. Won't take me more than 5 minutes to get home, get changed, get her up and moving if she isn't already partially up, and get her in the van. I almost said throw her in the back of the van, but no, that just didn't seem right. But put her in the van. I would love it if she'd be able to sit up in the van and sit in a chair, and maybe not be the driver, but at least be the upright passenger. I don't know what I'm saying all of a sudden. But we now know what the problem is, and we now know how to deal with it a little bit better. She does not need to be laid up all the time. She just can't put pressure on that leg. So it's like, okay, well, we now know this. Is there, what are the chances of being able to get you to come out in the living room and sit there for a little while, or do something besides being in the bedroom all the time? Right now, she doesn't know, because her two biggest fears is doing something to cause more problems, which I'm like, well, as long as you use your walker and put most of your weight on it, it shouldn't cause you too much problems. Just don't put as much pressure on that particular foot or leg. The other thing was, if she did make it out to the living room recliners, what would she need to do to put something underneath her leg or whatnot to keep from, having too much downward pressure on her knee? So, yeah, we're looking at options. She has her good days and she has her bad days. I mean, like yesterday, because between getting the good news and I gave her, I made her a special coffee that she wanted. So between the coffee and the good news and whatnot, she was giddy and happy and laughing and joking around on her live feed. It wasn't anything, it wasn't trying to be anything bad towards having cancer or those who do have cancer. It was just the fact that she was, lack of better words, high on coffee, high on caffeine, basically. Possibly even just being high on life. So that's what happened with the live last night. Was she was happy that she knew what was going on, but she also had that coffee, which gave her a lot of energy, because she didn't have any coffee all day long. She was afraid that if she had coffee, the same thing that happened last week would happen this week, which basically means coffee acts like a laxative, and you know what that can be like. So she didn't want to take the chances of having coffee in the morning time giving her its stomach issues. That, and the fact that she did tell me that she took didn't take extra. She just took her normal dosage of her pain-killing medication, so it would be a little bit more bearable. Which I'm kind of like, sure, whatever you need to get this done and over with, do it. I didn't say what I was thinking about saying to her Sunday night, but here in Rolla, we do have medical marijuana dispensaries, but you can't get that unless you have that special card saying that you're getting it for medical purposes. But I don't know about Springfield, because Springfield is very close to Tulsa, and when you drive through Tulsa, just about every town has multiple dispensaries, and I don't know if they're medical marijuana dispensaries or just generalized marijuana dispensaries. But I was joking around with her because I was going to joke around with her because Springfield has one or two, and I was like, hey, if you get there early enough, stop by one of these dispensaries, see if they're open, get a joint. You'll be high as a kite, won't know what the heck is going on. But I didn't, because it's like, I do approve of I do approve of the medical marijuana because it does have certain medical benefits, but for recreation or just getting high for the sake of getting high, no, I would not suggest that to nobody because I don't like it. Hey, why don't I like it, you might ask? I tried it once. Yeah, it gave me some great feel-good situations, but once I came off that high, it was like food. Just, I don't care. Give me anything. You point out where the munchies are, and I'll go nuts. You know, I'll eat munchies until I'm sick as a dog. That's about the only thing that I've ever experienced with marijuana, is just munchies. And this was back in my early 20s, late teens, early 20s, when I was still somewhat, I only did marijuana, but I smoked a lot. I didn't smoke a lot, but I smoked Swisher Sweets. And then when my bronchitis got really bad, I was like, oh yeah, bad idea, get rid of that. Yeah. Anywho, this video is almost 55 minutes long, so I'm going to get off the air and download this. If you guys enjoyed this little video, go ahead and give it a thumbs up. Any questions or comments, go ahead and put them in the question comment box. If you're new to my channel and liked hearing what you heard, or want to hear some of the other stuff that I've talked about in previous channels, and you have not joined, maybe you want to join today. That is your choice. You can click the subscribe button, and once you do that, a bell pop up, and click on that bell, and YouTube will let you know when I put in my next video. Until next time, you guys have a good day. Enjoy. Bye.